shit. What's going on, guys? It is Wyatt, and I got a short video for you guys today. So to kick things off, as you can see, I got a truck here in the shop with me. This is an 05 Chevy 2500 single cab long bed. This thing has an LOI Duramax motor in it. It's in here for head gaskets. I already put the head gaskets on it, but it's still having issues. So we're gonna get into that here in a little bit and show you kind of the weird issue that I'm having with the truck. And also go over some new parts that we got for the Civic. Every time I want to say Integra, but the new parts for Civic, and reveal that surprise that I had mentioned in the last video, and also show you around the car a couple of things that I got done since the last video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So as you can see out here in my shed, I now have a nice rack for all of my parts, and also my drag radials and, you know, air tank, whatnot. Still getting this cleaned up, but it is coming along. But yeah, let's jump into it. So down here you can see that I have transmissions for the car. The two on the left are both hydro trannies. One is a GSR tranny, one's an LS tranny, and that one's an old cable style transmission. Moving up to the second row, as you can see, I have my intercooler here, radiator, a bunch of boost pipes, the old turbo setup stuff there. Up top you can see just a bunch of other random stuff for the car. You know, boost controller, that janky new intake manifold we bought, and the new block. This is the block that we're going to build once we do go for 800 horse. That's going to be the one that is going to be accomplishing that for us. This middle shelf is what I am anxious to show you guys today. So you've already seen that I got the new pistons for the car and some other stuff, but since then I've also gotten the ECU adapter. This is going to allow me to go and use the OBD2 harness, but use my OBD1 ECU. I also have, so this will be able to use the OBD2 wiring harness, but an OBD1 distributor. Moving on, as you can see in this box, not really because there's low light in here and GoPro's sucking low light. These things are the new motor mounts. So these will allow me to put the B series into my Civic. Next, in this back box, we have new upper and lower ball joints for both sides. I pretty much always put ball joints on these freaking Hondas just because they're usually shot when I get them. People really overlook those. But when you break a ball joint, that's not a lot of fun. So, upper and lower ball joints. Here, I also have a new wastegate. This is a eBay, I don't remember the brand. It wasn't cheap, it was about $100, so it's a pretty nice gate. I don't remember who makes it though. But yeah, this is a 44 millimeter gate with a V-band set up on it. And the reason we went with V-band is for what is in this box. So as you guys know, I was throwing around the idea of building a new turbo manifold, and that's what we're gonna do, because this cast one is just ugly as hell and it doesn't really fit well, and the way that this gate is up like this, I hate it. I had to hit the hell out of the hood to make it shut on the old Integra, and I don't want to do that on the Civic. So that's why I got a new wastegate, because I don't like these 2-bolt flanges anyways. And on this new turbo setup, I'm going to make it as clean as I can. So this is just a good start. So you can see I have my turbo flange. This is a T3 undivided or open flange. And I also have my new head flange. This is from turboflanges.com. Really cool stuff. They do great work. As you can see, the side that bolts up to the motor has the, you know, oval Honda exhaust port on it, but then they go through and CNC it really nice and port match it so that you can easily put up a 1.5 inch OD tube on it. So we will be using Schedule 10 tubing to build the manifold, but as you can see, this just gives you a really nice place to weld it, and it keeps it nice and centered inside the port and whatnot. So really nice piece, really cost effective. You couldn't do this yourself for what you'd give for this flange. That's why I just bought one. But yeah, I'm gonna have Hayden build the manifold. I'll admit it, he is a better welder than I am. I mean, I can hold my own, I can weld, and you know, I never have any issues with it, but I don't have tons of experience with stainless, and he makes a ton of these manifolds. So I'm gonna let him do it, and that'll also allow him to jig it up so that he can now offer top mount B-series manifolds. So that was the big surprise, is just the new manifold stuff. I think it's gonna be badass. And once we get these new pistons into the car, we're gonna start getting that motor swapped in. So once we get these pistons into the B series that's in the garage, we'll get it swapped in. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, we're gonna go over to the car right now, and I'll show you guys what's up with the car and a couple of things that I've gotten done since the last video, and then we'll go talk about that truck. Too old for this shit. All right, so as you guys can see, the car now has even more silver parts on it. That being the door. You know, I have a buddy, Jamie, over at PFI, has a silver coupe. That's a 2000. That's where I got all these parts from. And my door, somebody had really jankified it, I guess you could say, to make the window work, even though the regulator was bad. They had, you know, cut holes down here in this bottom track and like moved it forward to try and keep the window pinched so that it would stay up. So I said, screw that, you know, I'm not gonna mess with it. He had this good door, it's in good shape, so I just decided to take the door and put all my stuff in it. You know, it was originally an automatic window, but these Hondas are all, you know, made so that you can swap them. So yeah, it's all manual now, manual locks, manual window, all that. I also fixed the wiring for the speaker. I'm gonna put a full system in this car. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna be a typical ricer, blasting, you know, my wannabe rap music at meets, and then still gapping people. So I look forward to that. But yeah, I got it all lined up, and all that window stuff put in it, and it works really well. So now all I need to do is put the door panel back on it, and that door will be finished and ready to go. You guys also saw that I got the lights put in. I finally got the light bulbs put in them, so they all work. I'm actually surprised. The wiring was cut, but it wasn't cut too terribly bad. I just did a little bit of wiring on them, and they're all good to go now. The thing's almost ready for paint, to be honest. I'm still not sure if up front the chassis is bent at all. I got to measuring a bunch of stuff, and like, I mean, I don't know. It's still hard to tell. I can't really tell if it's bent. I don't think it is, or at least it's not too bad. A lot of the stuff I was seeing is that these two tires, or these two wheels, are different. This one has a lot less offset, or yeah, offset. I don't know. I'm too tired to think about it right now. But this one sticks out further, and this one does not. This one actually sticks in further because of the offset on the wheel. So yeah, I think that was kind of throwing me off about it. But there is a spot weld that's still broken on the little beam that goes across the bottom, which is the only thing that I can really think of why it would have been hit. But when we pull the motor out, I'm going to go through that and look and you know, measure everything, triangulate it all, and just kind of see where we're at. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm still going to build this car. I was about to sell it, but I think I'll stick it out. I don't think there's too much wrong with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump inside, and I'll show you guys what I've got going on there. In the last video, I showed you that I got the SI dash put in. Thing looks badass. I also got these gauges put in. I told you I bought that really cheap kind of inlay thing that went in here, but dude, that thing was so janky. Like, it would flex just trying to set it in here. So on the Integra, I had built this plate that holds these gauges, and I ended up just ripping that out and cutting it down a ways and making it fit in here. It's probably not gonna stay like that for long, simply because it's hard to see the air fuel gauge when you're sitting here in the driver's seat. You you know, you got to figure you're going to have one hand down on the shifter, and that won't be in your way over here because you'll probably just go right here. But the air fuel gauge has this really big bezel on it, so it's kind of hard to see. So I might end up like angling them over a little bit. Not really sure yet, but we'll get to that when we get there. So yeah, let's go back in the shop. I'm going to show you guys a little bit on that truck, and then that'll probably be the end of this video. Like I said, pretty short. Just wanted to share a couple updates with you guys. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, so figured you guys might want to see something. So yeah. So back talking about this Duramax that we have here in the shop. Like I said, I've already put head gaskets on this thing. I put it all back together, started it up, and it's still pissing coolant out of the overflow. So it leads me to believe a couple of things. I'll put pictures up right now of when I had it apart. LLYs are extremely common for, not extremely common, but when they have any head gasket issue, that's just like a more common thing that LLYs had, is head gasket issues. So guy initially hit me up like, hey, I think I have a head gasket issue. I was like, all right, bring the truck over, we'll take a look at it. It's pissing coolant out of the overflow, you know, because it's just over pressurized. All of the combustion cylinder pressure was going into the cooling system, pushing out the cap. Cookie cutter case, you know, said, all right, it needs head gaskets, gave him a price. He's like, all right, let's do it. So went ahead, ordered the stuff, got the truck in, got it all pulled apart. Lo and behold, it had a broken head stud on the far back side, passenger side, very last bolt towards the back of the motor. It had a broken head stud, and you could obviously see where the gasket was blown out for quite some time. So I'll post a picture of that right now. So as you can see, that bolt was broken and the head gasket was really messed up. So there was also a ton of pitting in the cylinder head. They're aluminum cylinder heads, and when that compression was going out of that cylinder, you know, it was really digging into that aluminum and created all the pitting. So we took the heads to the machine shop, had the heads cut down. On these Duramaxes, the tolerances are really close, so you actually have to recess the valve into the head further to allow clearance for it, for valve to piston clearance. So it's a really pricey job to have the heads done. But yeah, so we had those done. We got the heads back. They were really good. Great machine shop. They did great work. Mountain High Performance here in Colorado. So yeah, got the heads back, got them slapped on the motor. I had, you know, my doubts about them working simply because of how much pitting was on the cylinder head. I didn't think that the block was going to be great on that back corner where all that coolant had been going through it and the compression, you know, matched up where all the pitting was. So I was like, all right, whatever, we'll put it together. And like I said, got it put together, and it's just been having the same issue ever since. So today I'm going to pull it back apart and see if I can't figure out what's going on. What I'm going to do is pressurize each individual cylinder with air when it's at bottom of the cylinder, and that'll give me a good idea of what bank that's causing the issue, and particularly what cylinder is pressurizing the cooling system, or you know, see which cylinder is pressurizing, you know, if it's got a crack in it or the head gasket. So yeah, I'm going to start with that. On these, all you have to do is pull the glow plug out, stick the nozzle in there, and pressurize the cylinder. What it's going to tell me is if it's multiple cylinders, I'm going to assume it's a faulty sealing surface between the cylinder head and the block. If it's a single cylinder that is causing all of the issue, I'm going to assume that it's a crack in one of the sleeves. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and see which cylinder it is, and we'll get back to it after that. So yeah, not looking forward to this one. Thing's been a pain in my ass, but I'm going to get it done for the guy. Going to take care of him. And you know, it sucks he's been out of his truck for so long, but just one of those things. You never really know. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into that, and we'll see what's going on with her. Well, I went through and pressurized each cylinder on this thing, and I can't get it to pressurize the cooling system, so I'm probably just going to pull it apart and see what's going on with it. I don't know, it's acting really weird, but I know the second I start it, the thing, you know, pressurizes the cooling system and it just pukes coolant everywhere. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pull it apart, but I'm not gonna film any of that. I just figured I'd give you guys a little brief overview of what's going on with it. You guys said you kind of like the diesel stuff. So yeah, maybe in the next video I'll throw in some clips of, like, you know, lifting the cab off it and pulling the heads and whatnot, but we'll see. But definitely not in this video. And as you guys can see, the motor is over here. This is the LSV that was in the Integra. So we're gonna be pulling this thing apart in the next video as well and putting the new piston in it. I'm gonna put all 4 in there, and honestly I'm gonna make the ring gaps a little bit tighter and go from there. Like I said, this motor is not gonna be in that car very long. I just wanna get it in there and make sure it runs and that the swap works out 100% before I drop the money on the new motor. And yeah, we'll go from there. So hope this thing turns out well, and like I said, short video for you guys, but that'll probably be it for this one. So I appreciate you guys watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks. Peace.